Welcome to the Lads AM podcast, a show for those late night ramblings you only get when the rest of the world is asleep. This show is available in both podcast and Let's Play form. Check out our social media to find out how to listen the way you want to. Tonight, we are playing
Who is Bennett Foddy?
Is he bald? Is he bald, or does he just have really short hair?
He's got really short hair. He's got a buzz cut.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
There's some buzz
sometimes,
cut.
Because I get buzz cuts, and sometimes I'm wondering if I should just go bald.
I'm just confused how that answers my question.
Guys, should I go bald?
My question was, who's Bennett Foddy?
All right.
Oh, we weren't talking to you.
Oh,
yeah, who?
Bennett Foddy, and immediately responds by going, "Does he have a buzz cut or is he bald?" I'm like,
yeah, I think what we did was, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we did, we just ignored you.
Wow, cool.
Bennett Foddy's this guy, clearly.
Is he the person that wrote the, like, are you asking, like, in the lore, or just
no,
like, what is his
I'm pretty. Isn't he like a famous guy or something?
Maybe.
I'm not playing this game. I can Google this.
I mean, is it the same as, like, I wonder if he has this, like, people play Rainbow Six, but, like, who's Clancy?
Rainbow?
Oh, actually, wait, he is a video. Oh, wait, no, he is the guy who created the game.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
Now, who's Tom Clancy? Because from Rainbow Six Siege.
Apparently an author.
Oh. Okay. And he wrote...
Hang on.
And he wrote Rainbow Six Siege, the book?
So Tom Clancy was an American novelist who lived from 1947 to 2013.
R.I.P.
He wrote a bunch of espionage and military science storylines. Blah, 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 blah. Tom Clancy's works also inspired games such as Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, The Division, and Splinter Cell series. So they were basically inspired by his books.
Oh, interesting.
That's kinda cool.
Because I never really knew who Tom Clancy was.
Yeah, bad news, then.
Oh no, he's racist in 2012.
Oh no, that's why he died in 2013.
Apparently, he was very much devoutly Republican.
Oh,
I mean, he's making books like that.
Conservative and Republican views. He dedicated books to several conservative political figures, including Reagan.
Well, maybe he may have been racist, but also, from my understanding, so is people who play Rainbow Six Siege.
He suggested that American left-wing politicians were partially responsible for the failure to prevent the 9/11 attacks 1 week after the 9/11 attacks.
Wait, wait a minute. Say that again. I must have misheard you.
He basically just said that Democrats are partially responsible for 9/11 because they removed funding from the CIA or something.
Exclusively Democrats.
American left-wing politicians, yep.
Okay, and that. So what needs to happen for us to blame Republicans for getting rid of the metal detectors?
I don't know.
I
will say, to put something slightly better on his side, for some reason he was interviewed actually on 9/11, and during the interview he specifically noted that Islam does not permit suicide. So basically he was just like, don't judge all of Islam on this, basically.
Damn, if only people listen to this.
People.
Well, you see, Republicans only listen to Republican leaders when it benefits them.
Okay, but now my question for Tom Clancy is: when I was in college, I couldn't play Rainbow Six Siege because of a network issue with the campus Wi-Fi. What does he have to say about that?
Mm-hmm.
Not like that's what I want to know. I was trying to play with Georgia. but it was like you can't play, and it turns out that's a pretty common thing with like campus Wi-Fi. And I just want to know like what Tom Clancy is going to do about that.
Oh no.
Nothing anymore.
Oh no. Tom Clancy, this is a quote from him. You ready? He basically, apparently he was upset at how he viewed was a double standard in how, this is his quote, okay?
Okay.
You can't hate black people anymore, and you can't and you can't and you can't hate homosexuals anymore, but you can hate all the Catholics you want. And he basically he's upset that there's a quote unquote double standard where it's not moral to hate on black people or homosexuals, but it's still moral that you can hate on Catholics. How dare there be a double standard there? Yeah, wow, that's good enough playing a Tom Clancy game.
You know what? You know what I have to say to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. He's in good company. He's in
good double standard.
I'm okay with this one. You know what? You know what, boys? I think we're gonna allow this one.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna let this double standard exist, and I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. But yeah, Bennett Body's. He's the guy who. He's the guy who also made QWOP.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. He just loves to see the world suffer.
Did he make QWOP as well?
Huh? Yeah, he made QWOP.
No, QWOP.
Oh, wait a minute, Dustin. Please tell me that QWOP is in some way like QWOP, but like a furry game.
But it's a horse.
Yeah, you were a horse.
Yes.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was that was a QWOP kind of
fursuit. A straight furry.
I don't know.
Same exact game, except it's in the fursuit.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay, so we're playing Rainbow Six next week. Just let him hear.
Nope. Just straight gun.
I was at a thrift shop in the other day, and I saw a Trump shirt.
Oh, so you bought it?
Nah, man, I didn't even want to buy it as a joke, dude. But I saw it as like, you know what? I can look at this as a good sign. Someone reformed.
Oh,
and that
is a very optimistic point of view.
Maybe they put it in the dryer too many times.
Maybe.
Maybe they just outgrew it.
Mentally or physically?
Outgrew
it. Physically. I can only wish they outgrew it mentally.
They outgrew and I think it was like an adult extra large.
Well, maybe it ended up being too big for them. Maybe they lost weight.
I do kind of like the idea that it was like a child small. And they outgrew it.
Dude, you know there are child size small Trump shirts.
Oh, 100%.
Don't get political shirts for your children. That's gross. That's not even like a don't get Republican. No, just don't get political shirts for your children. That's weird.
If I have a child, I'm gonna give them the best. They're gonna have funny T-shirts. I'm gonna use. I am going to buy your nephew a political shirt.
Well, okay. And what's it gonna say?
Nephew has to not be merch.
We're gonna buy Hassan.
You get his new workout apparel, whatever he has now.
Oh my god!
Wait, does he have?
Yeah.
Does he? Oh, yeah. Good for him. Trying to get his fans in shape.
Himbo Fitness.
Is this real? Himbo Fitness is your dick. Himbo Fitness, your dick, your mouth. Yep, that's where we go, boys.
What?
1 sec. I'm doing things.
Oh boy!
He just said fitness. He said fitness, so that's the thing. I'm looking at it. Ideology.
Yeah.
Ideology. Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Nice. Dude, you see someone at the gym rocking Hassan merch. How do you open? How do you open conversation?
Well, do you want my honest answer?
Is that you don't know Hassan?
My honest answer is I don't engage conversation at all, because why the fuck am I conversing with a random person?
True.
Like, regardless of what their shirt is, I'm not talking to them. I might judge them, but I'm not talking to them.
Okay, Rob, you're at the gym.
Okay.
And you see someone and it says, "Ask me about my Mario 64 PB." Do you approach?
All right, first of all, that's a contradiction.
Ask me about.
Matt, you just said a contradiction. You see, if they're wearing a shirt that says "Ask me about my Super Mario 64 PB," they're not at the gym.
Okay, but wait a minute. Wait, in this scenario, we've already established that a speedrunner could be at the gym because you're at the gym.
All right, fair.
Okay,
but I'm not a good runner.
Okay, Dustin.
In which case, would I provoke conversation? Maybe. Depends on what I'm feeling, and also if it is a child or an adult. If it's an adult, then maybe. If it's a child, absolutely not. Oh okay, shit, you did well there, Dustin. Oh, never mind.
Dustin, not to distract you. You're at the gym and you see someone wearing Rob the Gamer 115 merch. Do you approach?
Well, of course he approaches. It's me.
Of course, it's Robert.
Who the fuck else is wearing Rob the Gamer 115 merch?
It's you wearing your own. You made merch and only you have it. You made yourself a T-shirt that says Rob the Gamer 115.
You know what the weird thing is I honestly think that I'm at the point as a streamer where if I had made merch, I think I have some people who would buy it.
Yeah, well, I can also think of some people that would expect to get it for free. So,
I would if I made merch, I would give you guys free copies.
Maybe think about that, man.
I would give you guys a free one.
Nice. Free clothing,
or at the very least, give you like a very discounted price.
Oh, never mind. that's fucked up.
No. It depends on how much it costs to get the merch made. Like if it costs $18 to make the shirt, but like I sell it for like let's say $30 or whatever to make a $12 profit, I would sell it to you guys just at whatever it costs to make the shirt.
I'm not paying for your lad's T-shirt for PAX anymore.
I mean, okay, I'll pay for it myself if you want.
Okay, Dustin gets a free T-shirt.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I don't need no handout.
Strong, independent substitute teacher who need no man.
Yeah, right. Hey, you're back here, Dustin.
Hey, audio listeners going to know that.
Oh, yeah, we actually in like 10 minutes we just need to talk about how far Dustin's made it.
Holy shit, Dustin, you're already in space.
Oh, all right, Dustin, everyone, we need to
being bad. This game has to last all podcasts.
We got to stop the podcast right now because after this is the secret part that no one's allowed to see unless you've beaten the game.
I didn't think you'd get through this quickly.
Shit. That's crazy. We got all right, pull up another game. What's the other? Is Bennett 42?
Well,
42. Isn't there a second Getting Over It?
There might be.
I feel like there is. Or we could do like Jump King.
Oh my god, Jump King. Yeah, okay.
Shovel. Oh, that's the one that looks like Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
But isn't Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Hey, have you played Shovel Knight?
I've played a tiny bit of Shovel Knight before.
I want to play Shovel Knight.
I remember, I forget which time it was, but one of the times I was at GDQ, I played Shovel Knight for like a couple hours with a friend of mine online. Like I met up with them and we played it on their Switch.
Huh.
I remember I genuinely did not care for the game personally.
Oh, really?
It was just one of those kinds of games where I was like, I can see why people would like it. I just didn't really care for it.
Are you
want another example of one of those games?
Yeah.
It's actually funny because it's a game we've played on the podcast previously. Castle Crashers. Like, I'm just not particularly a fan of that kind of game. I think the humor in Castle Crashers is fun, and that's about it. Like, I'm not a big fan of like those fighter style games.
Side scroller.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of them. Like, even like when we would go to like arcades, I would never really touch them unless like one of you was playing, was like, Rob, join me in this, and then it'd be like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
understandable.
I'm never huge into fighting games either.
Yeah,
I want to be good. I want to be in the fighting games, but I just can't.
There is one fighting game that I actually own that I actually really enjoyed. I remember I went to a yard sale. This was probably when I was like 14 or so. And I bought 5 PS2 games for $5 total. I was like, even if I don't really care for the games, like, you know, I can resell them if I want to in the future. But one of the games that I bought was Soul Calibur 2. And so I played it, and I was like, damn, Soul Calibur is actually pretty fun. And I've never gotten any other Soul Calibur game. So I own... That's like the one fighting game I own that I actually like, kind of like. Nice. Unless, I guess other than, like, Smash.
Yeah, well, I feel Smash is kind of...
different.
Yeah,
it's kind of a different thing.
Actually, there is another game I can think of. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Boom. That's a fun fighting game.
That's a fighting game?
Yeah, it's a fighting game. It's
I remember that game.
Yeah, I think I'd play it with you, Dustin.
Yeah.
It was basically like a 4-player battle royale fighter game.
Oh, so it's like a Smash clone, kind of.
Yeah.
Like the platform fighter.
But but it would have very, very dynamic stages. Like, stages would have, like, Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. But it was kind of like Smash, yeah. You could also do, like, teams. There were, like, 20 different players in the game or something like that.
Is it exclusively Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy lore?
It is exclusively Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy characters.
There's 20 characters in that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I remember when you first start the game, you only have 4 fighters unlocked. It's
Billy,
Mandy, Grim, and Erwin, the nerd kid.
Oh, I love Erwin. It's like an Erwin, yo.
And then playing through the game, you would unlock people like I remember the one that I always played as was Dracula.
Scrape and Lick.
Yeah. So there would be Dracula, there would be the I forget his name, but basically like the hunky guy.
The hunky guy.
I don't know what his name was.
Billy's dad?
Yeah, Billy. No, it's the guy from the meme.
Oh, with eye patch.
Like, yeah, it's the guy from the meme.
The one that's like nobody's like, bored cool except this guy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that guy from that meme.
Could you get Fred Fredburger?
Yes, that was another character.
I love Fred Fredburger.
Eris, I think it's supposed to be like a Greek goddess. She's in the game. Oh man, I'd have to look up.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Is the spider in it?
What was that?
Is the spider in it? Billy's son.
Hang on, let me try to look it up.
Billy's spider's son. Oh, speaking of that,
maybe get frozen yogurt. Maybe, but
you had it?
He didn't force me or anything, but
had you had it before, or was it like Fred Fredburger like exposed you to what it was?
He exposed me to it.
All right, so I don't remember all of the characters, but this is a list of the characters, okay? Mm-hmm. So there were 15 fully playable characters and 5 bonus horde characters. So the characters in alphabetical order are Billy, Boogie, Dracula, Eris, Fred Fredburger, General Scar, Grim, Hoss Delgado, that's the hunk guy, Hoss Delgado.
Okay.
Erwin, Jack-O-Lantern, Lord Payne, Mandy, Mogar, Mutant Chicken.
Mogar?
That's what it says is Mogar.
Like Achievement Hunter Mogar?
I don't think so.
It's when Billy's dad was a rock star.
Kazooie?
He changed.
Okay.
You're right. It's Billy's dad is a punk rock star.
Oh, okay.
Mutant Chicken, Nurgle, Nurgle Jr., Nurgling,
Wait, who is? Wait, I need to look up a picture of Nurgle. Who is this? I remember the name. Nurgle, Billy, and Mandy. Oh shit! It's this guy.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I get this guy. He looks like what is the difference between this character and Father from Kids Next Door?
Not much. Holy shit, I never put that together, but you're right. They are pretty much the same. And then the only other characters are Olaf the Viking, Pumpkin, and Scary Clown.
Damn. I think
apparently there's a GBA version.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy has perhaps one of the funniest clips of like any show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's one thing that makes me laugh so much every single time I see it. And it's the clip where Billy is he's like approaching a window.
Uh-huh.
He's approaching a closed window. He opens like the bottom part of it, and then he jumps through the top of it to break through it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
Stanley just give us a topic to talk about.
Shout out to Stanley.
Stanley, what do you...
He jumps.
Oh my god, that is loud! Don't play that.
And then he breaks, and then he breaks through the top of it. It's really funny,
dude. I'm gonna be honest. So, all right. First of all, obligatory. Once again, we're talking about children.
Of course.
But secondly, it's funny because if you asked me off the top of my head, like, name some of the best Cartoon Network shows, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy probably would not come to mind, but it absolutely should.
Ooh. Yeah, no, that was good.
I would think of other shows first, but that was a really good show.
No, I loved it, man. I remember a couple episodes. I remember the episode where Mandy was in like the what was the play that they were doing?
It was some Christmas thing.
It wasn't. It was like the was.
Oh, no,
like
she was doing a beauty pageant.
Yeah, and she did like over the rainbow or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you talking about where she had a smile?
Yeah, and then that bird and the bird. Yeah, the bird was like, "It disrupted the national order," and then everyone exploded.
Yeah, I think she was doing like a beauty.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a beauty pageant. I love, dude. that memory has not left. I always will remember that. You disrupted the natural order.
We gotta find a way to watch Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy together now.
Hey, we can do. Do you guys? There's a one genre of video on YouTube that I watch a lot.
Yeah,
and that's like people that like watch movies and do commentary on it.
Okay,
and then like they upload the like a cut down version of it. But then they also offer like the full version.
Yeah.
And you play them at the same time.
If you're about to ask, would I be interested in doing that? The answer is yes.
I actually wasn't going to ask, so
okay,
well, maybe you should not.
You're also only going to ask Dustin.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask. Hey, Dustin, do you want to? No, actually, if you that would be a lot of fun.
I would do it.
The Ludwig's podcast, The Yard, which I'm a big fan of, they are doing a thing like that where they do commentary on DComs, and they're currently going through every DCom.
Disney Channel original movie.
Disney Channel original movie. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
I knew you wouldn't know what that was. I was like, I'm gonna need to hop in here.
DCom? Are we talking about like DEFCON? Like, or are we going to DEFCON 4? Are we under attack?
Yeah, it's every single Disney. I honestly, Dustin, I thought he would know it.
Nah.
I might have gone there with context clues.
So, but basically, and that's basically the only reason that I have a Disney Plus subscription.
Here's the thing. So
for that,
if you asked me, Rob, How many Disney Channel original movies can you even name? I think the answer is genuinely 2, and even then, I'm not positive they're Disney Channel original movies.
Would they be? Would they be High School Musical and High School Musical 2?
Well, High School Musical was one of them.
Okay.
Okay, so you could at least name 3 because there are 3 High School Musical movies.
Sure.
But the third one was straight to DVD. That wasn't a Disney Channel original movie, was it?
The other one that I'm thinking of, I'm like 50-50 on if it's Disney Channel original movie. Because what makes a Disney Channel original movie? That it first
a movie that originally
aired
on Disney Channel.
Disney Channel?
Yeah.
Does that mean it never got a theatrical release?
Probably. I doubt any of them get theatrical releases.
Alright, then the other movie I'm thinking of is probably not Disney Channel original.
What is it?
Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm pretty sure that did release in theaters.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not a
Also, there are a lot of Disney Channel original movies that you wouldn't even know about.
Oh,
at all.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot I don't know about, and I've now since
you could
watched a
probably
lot
make
of them.
more than just High School Musical.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I can name any other one.
Let me go through.
Yeah,
the
you're really
list.
much of a Disney guy.
No, I was not a Disney guy at all.
Actually, let me go through the list and see which ones I'm.
I feel like they're just really churning them out nowadays. I feel like there's like 4 a year now.
Oh no, that's Nickelodeon, not Disney Channel. Shut.
Have you? I'm gonna. From now on, I'm always going to assume the answer is no for Rob.
About what Disney stuff?
But I'm not gonna specify that I know that anymore. So just that's just the underlying rule.
Okay.
I'm assuming you guys have never seen Teen Beach Movie.
I've heard of it.
I watched parts of it, I think.
Wait. So wait. I actually. Is that the one where the kids are sucked into like a 1960s beach movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know about it, but I've not seen it.
I think I saw parts of the first one.
In college. I don't remember. I think we were having a very similar conversation where we were just going through DComs because I've done this a lot where we've got with different people where you just go through the list of DCom movies and you start hearing about either it's a mix of nostalgia for some of them or you're introducing people to Tiger Cruise.
Was Tiger Cruise one?
Yeah, Tiger Cruise is the one about 9/11.
Yeah.
Right. I remember you telling me that. Because wasn't that like it ends and it's like, oh shit, there was just an attack on the Twin Towers? I don't know where.
I think it's like during. I don't quite remember. I haven't seen it. That's not something I was really just. I'm looking for a good movie to watch. I didn't just think of loading up Tiger Cruise.
Fair.
But we did somehow got really attached to the idea of Teen Beach Movie. And the sequel, aptly named Teen Beach Movie 2.
Dude, there's a sequel? Nice.
And we were gonna watch it one day.
Yeah.
Because it was right when Disney Plus came out. And we were like, okay, we'll just get the free trial and we'll watch Teen Beach Movie 1 and 2. We'll make a movie night of it. Unfortunately, when Disney Channel Plus came out, there was an issue with at least my college campus where basically it thought that it was by IP. So no one could use Disney Plus because it all thought everyone using it was the same person basically.
Oh no.
And I only know this because I worked in where I worked had the same one of my bosses was like the head of IT or something and he explained it to me why it was that way. So, but that was after the fact. So we were getting ready to watch it and we realized we can't watch Teen Beach Movie. And I'm like, no, I've been waiting so long to get drunk and watch Teen Beach Movie with my friends. So I just bought both of them on YouTube.
Right.
So if anyone wants to watch Teen Beach Movie, I am the proud owner of both 1 and 2. And
you didn't even rent it or anything?
I don't think I could. I think it was only buying because I probably would have rented it because I've rented.
It was probably like $3 or less each, right?
I don't remember.
I imagine because most of the movies on YouTube are cheap.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Osmosis Jones is free.
What did you say, Osmosis Jones?
Yeah, it's free on YouTube.
I'm not watching Osmosis Jones.
Dude, speaking of movies, I've been recently starting to watch. I started a project where I'm watching every Pixar movie in order now.
Oh.
Did you give up on the Marvel one, or is that
no? I just delayed the Marvel one. Okay, but
okay.
But it's led me to a funny revelation. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever asked me about Pixar movies, especially the Toy Story trilogy, I would always say that my least favorite Toy Story movie was the second one. All right?
Okay.
Now, I just rewatched Toy Story 2 recently, and it made me have a realization that I had never seen Toy Story 2.
Yeah, I was thinking Toy Story 2 is pretty good.
What's the plot of Toy Story 2? Remind me.
Woody gets captured by the toy guy, and he meets
Wendy. He gets captured by a good guy, meets Jesse.
Oh, it's on the chicken guy?
Yeah, chicken guy.
He's like, I can't believe I have to drive to work on a Saturday. He drives across the street.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my first realization is, wait a minute, I have not seen this movie. My second realization was, damn, this is better than the original.
Okay, now and the original, because apparently I think
Buzz Lightyear appears and Woody's kind of like an asshole.
And it ends with we're not aiming for the okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think 1 and 2 in my brain kind of fused together.
That's damn. I actually had to think about it too when Robert first brought it up.
Yeah. So I'm like, which one's 2?
So I've now rewatched the first 4 Pixar movies. So Toy Story 1 and 2, A Bug's Life, and earlier today I watched Monsters, Inc. Monsters Inc. I remember that being such a good movie. And it's better than I remember.
Okay, good. I almost went to his house and beat him up.
No, it was not only was it as funny as I remembered it being, but the last time I'd seen the movie, I was probably like 8 or 9. I didn't realize how many important plot points that I just totally never picked up on as a kid. Where I'm like, wait a minute, that's a plot point.
Wait, can you like what, that they're monsters?
No, so
wait, what plot are we missing here?
So, like, one of the things that I missed is exactly what again, last saw it as a young stupid kid.
Yeah, you're not really paying attention to the plot. You're playing,
right.
Yeah.
But so I never quite understood why the tarantula guy, I forgot his name, why he was evil. And I understood the plot a lot better this time. Like, the fact that there was a Scream shortage totally went over my head as a kid.
Oh, so like why the entire place existed.
Right. Like well, I understood why it existed. I understood that they collected Scream energy, but I didn't realize there was a shortage on the energy.
Okay, that's more understandable.
I also didn't realize, partially because it's like the explanation is the organization is the CDA, and that's basically like the CDC. But the head of their organization, the CDA, is the slug lady who's been undercover as a CDA agent for 2.5 years. And right over my head as a kid. So I'm watching a movie that I haven't watched in like 15 years. And I got fucking blindsided by a plot twist. I was like,
what do you think was happening as a kid when they revealed that?
I was confused. I was just like, hey, Tarantula was gone. Hey, we're now bringing the kid back to our bedroom.
Did it just not make sense? So you think you just kind of glossed over it? you're like, that's a thing, but I'm still wondering how are they gonna get Sully back?
Yeah,
how are they gonna get Sully back to meet the kid?
I don't know, dude. I think it was just one of those things where like I missed it in part of the movie, but as a kid, when you're watching a movie like that, you're usually watching it with like your parents or whatever.
Sure.
Well,
So
most people.
I wasn't gonna back it up and like rewatch it. So yeah, no, I just missed certain things like that. But no, it was really funny. Honestly, so while I've been doing this, I've been doing a ranking order of the Pixar movies as I'm watching them.
Mm-hmm.
And Monsters Inc. out of the 4 is absolutely the top of the list by a long shot.
I could agree.
So my list right now is Monsters Inc., Toy Story 2, Toy Story 1, Bug's Life.
I don't really have much of a memory of Bug's Life. Like, I know I've seen it probably multiple times.
It's mediocre. It's not really that great.
I think sometimes I get it confused. What was it like? Ant Bully or something?
Ant Bully was a movie. Yes, I think that was.
I think
DreamWorks.
I think it may. I think I get those. I think I get those two confused sometimes. Because there's one. Because there's in I think it's in Ant Bully. There's a joke where it's like the dreaded yellow rain.
Yeah, I think that's
just it's just a guy peeing outside. As a kid, I was like, that's crazy. How could you put that in a movie? Oh my god.
Oh, it's a Warner Brothers movie.
They're eating her. They're gonna eat me. Oh my god. No, Pixar's good, man. You watch Cars yet? Have you seen Cars?
I've seen Cars. I've seen most Pixar movies.
Okay, that's good.
Hang on, let me look. The only Pixar movies that I still have not seen at this point are, let's see here.
Soul, for obvious reasons.
Shut up.
Wow.
That being said, I have not seen Soul yet.
Have you seen Coco?
Yes.
Okay, he saved himself.
The ones I have not seen are Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, Cars 3, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, Soul, Turning Red, and Lightyear. Every other one I've seen.
Lightyear, that's true.
Lightyear's the one that just came out.
Yeah, and Turning Red's the one with the she draws.
Turning Red's like the red panda one.
Yeah, but there's that one thing where she's like drawing like
she's drawing stuff.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, this power that I have in my hand."
I will say,
reality can be anything I want it to be.
I will say, out of the 8 that I have not seen, Soul is definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Soul's good. Big fan.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2 is all right.
Yeah, I've heard Incredibles 2 is all right. And Cars 3 I've heard mixed feelings on.
I have not seen a Cars movie past Cars.
Dude, so I don't know if you know this, Matt, but Cars 2, whenever anyone does their ranking of Pixar movies, Cars 2 is almost always the bottom of the list.
Is that the one where they're like... Is that the one where they're in like a...
nephew who loves Cars 2.
Yo, maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he cracked the code. Is that the one where they're in like a city and it's like future funk or whatever? And people do like the remixes.
So Cars 2 is do you remember Cars 1, right?
I remember Cars 1, Life is a Highway, and I'm gonna ride it all night long.
What made Cars 1 a good movie, Matt?
Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Okay, and who does Owen Wilson voice?
Lightning McQueen.
Awesome. Who do you think is the main character for Cars 2?
I'm assuming not Lightning McQueen.
Oh no, it's Mater.
It's Mater. Is it Mater origin story?
No. It's Mater who is accidentally an international spy.
What?
Wait, you really don't know any of this, Matt?
No, I don't. I have not seen this movie.
Let me explain what the plot could have been, and then I will explain what the plot was, okay? So this is the side plot that I'm about to explain. You ready?
Okay.
Lightning McQueen, having now settled in Radiator Springs, making it his home, right?
Yeah.
Is invited to join in this international racing cup, where he's going to do a series of races all across the world.
Okay.
Because that's the side plot.
That's the side plot. Okay.
Amount of racing we actually see in the movie is maybe 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Instead, we get to see the most asinine, stupid spy plot ever concocted, where these competent spies think that Mater is their undercover agent. Mater tells them to their face, "I'm not a secret agent." And they're just
secret agent.
Right, you're not a secret agent. We get it. You're undercover. It is the stupidest shit. There are these stupidest jokes in it, Matt. Like, I'm talking, like, jokes for preschoolers. There is a joke where Mater pees on the floor.
And that's related, and that in preschoolers can relate because they also do that.
Yeah.
They're like that. He like me for real. That
there's some okay moments in the movie, but no, it is largely a bad movie.
Pretty much, it's pretty. That sounds like they.
Pretty much every character, other than Lightning and Mater from the original movie, gets shafted. Like,
so you're saying
you're a fan of Luigi.
I love Luigi.
Luigi may have a single line in the movie.
Oh no!
It's so dumb.
He's my favorite character.
It's dumb.
Does Lightning McQueen say "ka-chow"?
Ka-chow.
Maybe.
Ka-chow.
Maybe. I'm not even sure. Chet Hicks isn't in the movie.
I remember actually didn't like
this Italian racer who's an asshole but kind of funny. So
isn't there like a Disney Plus like Cars TV show coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's a TV show. I think it might be a series of shorts, but something like that.
Because I remember Cars on the Road. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It released already?
Oh God. I'd imagine so. Because we talked about the sometime in the summer when that's when the trailer came out for it.
Oh yeah, because I remember seeing it and being like, that doesn't look totally bad. Oh, I might watch that. I remember that seeming kind of good, or it looked good anyway from the trailer. Cars is strange. It's a strange franchise.
Yeah, talking Cars is kind of a weird concept.
You know what the worst part about Cars 2 is?
Yeah.
Is a scary revelation when you put the facts of the Cars universe together, okay?
Is the fact that 9/11 happened or something?
Yes, Dustin.
Oh, I've heard that,
so in New York, there's no Twin Towers, but they show planes, and the planes are sentient. So a
bunch of planes just flew themselves.
Yeah, Dustin, I haven't watched in a hot minute. You're actually getting somewhere.
Yeah. Have you seen the thing where it's like that they've shown headlights in cars? Like there's multiple instances where like how in the first movie the two like Lightning McQueen fans
that's the fun thing with the Cars movie is that the Cars movie, more than most Pixar movies, I feel like, have a lot of like adult jokes.
Because I know in later movies they show, I think there's like a strip club or something, and instead of it being like
Cars 2,
instead of it being like the woman's silhouette as a neon sign, it's like headlights.
Yeah,
and it's like that it was. They like really go into it. I'm like, damn, that's great. The fact that they did it multiple times, proving it to be true, I think it's kind of crazy.
There was a subtle joke in the first Cars movie where they show in the first race they show the outside of the bathrooms, and the ladies' room has the longest line imaginable, and the guys' room no line.
It's funny. It's funny because girl car.
Sure.
It's funny because girl car. Damn. I remember I had a toy Mater, and it was like the piston cup, like,
dude, I also had
blue.
I had several other cars as toys.
It was Mater when he was whatever that the big company that they wanted. Dynaco. Yeah, it was Dynaco Mater all blue.
Oh. Oh shit.
Your listeners, absolutely absolutely nothing is happening right now.
Dustin. Nice. Dustin showing us how to play this game like a boss is what's happening.
Dustin just very nearly lost a lot of progress.
Alright. Not to talk too much about the gameplay, but Dustin, if you make it up this chasm, you will have officially made it further than I expected you to.
Yay.
Yay, I think I've made past this part.
I don't know if I have fleeting memories of if I've played this game or not, so I don't know.
Yo.
Oh, so something I wanted to talk about.
What'd you want to talk about?
What'd you want to talk? Speak your truth.
Have you guys heard about what's going on about the M&Ms?
Yeah. Oh, poor Tucker Carlson.
Oh my god.
He lost his favorite thing in the world.
Oh my god. Have you heard you know about this, Dustin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, Tucker Carlson is so upset he can't fuck the green M&M anymore.
I've felt like I was late to this party, but like the M&M company just put out their announcement this week. Did you see this announcement?
Yeah, that they're getting rid of the M&Ms.
They're like retiring them. It's like, oh my god, no, don't. That's how you let them win.
Not actually, but
oh, is it just a joke? Yeah,
it's very obvious.
I saw other people, but it's like, oh, it's just a Super Bowl thing.
Yeah, the fact that thing didn't read like an official statement at all. The fact that they already had 2 Maya Rudolph based commercials out already.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. Like within this past week, they've had 2 Maya Rudolph commercials, basically talking about how she's the new face of M&Ms.
Yeah,
it's just all leading up to.
If this is just Super Bowls, if this is just lead up to a Super Bowl commercial, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do I need to watch the Super Bowl so I can talk about commercials?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess I'll put that on my calendar of things to do.
I have not watched the Super Bowl in a very long time, and I'm sure we can all agree. Not big football fans here.
Dustin kind of is. Dustin, do we know what teams are in the Super Bowl yet?
No, we don't, because still playoffs to go.
Okay, I know. I know we're down to what, the AFC and the NFC championship.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what, this weekend?
The semifinals for people who don't know. Yeah, it's Sunday.
Okay. Because I remember I talked to my dad about it, and he said that the AFC and NFC... And I remember I had talked to him about what teams were in, but I forgot now.
The Chiefs will be playing the Bengals in the AFC Championship, and the Eagles are playing the 49ers.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I do need to watch this Super Bowl because I'm actually getting football squares for it.
You're getting football squares?
Oh, yeah. So you're doing squares?
Yeah. A family friend of mine is running a football squares thing. $5 a square.
Is that the that's like the betting thing?
Yeah, so basically what it is you pay $5 and you get a square. And it's a grid, 10 by 10 grid. Each row and column has a number 0 through 9.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the rules of it, at the end of each quarter or halftime and final or whatever, you look at the score of the game and you look at the ones digit of the score of the game, and if yours match up with your square, then you win like a decent amount of the money.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully a quarter of it, depending on rules.
Yeah, so like say my number square was 3 for Bengals and 7 for whatever other team there is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would want at the end of a quarter the Bengals to have a score of like 3 or 13 or 23 or something like that, and the other team to have whatever number I have.
I won a quarter one time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember my mom did that at one point. I think it was like a work thing.
I know Dustin's dad did them, and I think I participated once as a teen.
Yeah, that's the...
Once or twice. Right, you won the football square. I remember now.
Well, I don't think I ever told you, so...
Oh, did you not tell me that you won?
No.
Oh, why are you keeping secrets from me?
I don't know. I never thought to talk about it.
Oh, even though I participated in it?
No, you didn't.
Oh, did I? Oh, was this not one that I... Because I definitely participated in one.
This is like a couple years ago.
That you ran.
I'm talking about.
Huh?
This is like a couple years ago that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
No, because I remember there was one when we were younger that your dad was running that I participated in.
Yeah. My dad's probably going to do one this year if you want to participate.
How much are squares?
I don't remember. But I'll let you know when I find out.
Yeah, let me get back to that. Maybe I'll do 1 square there.
You in, Matt? You want to gamble on the sport you don't watch?
Dude, sports gambling is now legal in Mass, so...
Did it officially happen, or are we still waiting on it?
The law exists. They're setting up how to do it, pretty much.
Got it. Okay.
Yo, let's gamble money. I want to win not knowing anything.
So it says here, I'm looking at an article, in-person betting begins in 4 days. Whereas mobile betting won't start until March.
Nah.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Sports betting will formally begin 10 a.m. on the 31st. For the short term, in-person betting will go ahead with mobile options coming online. Anyone 21 and older who wants to bet will have to go to one of the 3 state casinos in either Everett, Plainville, or Springfield.
So sport betting wasn't legal in Massachusetts?
No.
Nope. I did not know that.
Yeah, I was getting into a conversation. Yeah, it's I think it's more like a formal betting thing. Like they're not going to go after people who are doing like a casual football square. Okay. But like, you can't operate a business.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
I definitely was not part of that.
No, never.
Ever.
Never. Allegedly, you may have been.
Have any sort of football gambling thing end in the middle of the season.
Never
happened.
To all the cops listening, never happened. Also,
to all the cops listening, the sarcastic tone is totally satirical. I'm being very honest when I say this didn't happen.
Also, to all the cops listening, what the fuck are you still doing here? Are you not mad? I think there have been multiple. I think there are multiple occasions which I've alienated the cop audience.
If they want to listen to this while they're eating their donuts, let them.
Damn! All the cops listening. The
people that listen to the wrong way.
The 100 views on the SpongeBob episode.
All cops.
All cops.
All cops wanted to know about The Rock.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy how YouTube gave me that statistic. Hey guys, did you know that only 90% of people that watch my videos are cops?
Oh, Dustin.
Only 80% of cops are subscribed.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, 100% of garbage truck drivers.
Yo, shout out to the garbage truck drivers. They look like they're having fun.
Dude.
Do they?
They're only the ones that get the ride on the truck.
Yeah.
I could do that job.
Yeah.
At first, it'd be difficult, but I think I get to ride the truck. I couldn't drive it, but I get to ride on the truck, and I'd probably get suit because they're always ripped. They always look strong because they do that every day. I'd probably get ripped, and then I'd be cool, and then kids would look at me and be like, "Yo, he gets to ride on the side of the truck. That's pretty cool."
I might be wrong about this, but I've kind of been learning about this because my brother-in-law recently got a job. Essentially, I think the proper title is as a city maintenance worker, but it's like part of it, I think, is like garbage collection.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure even if you want to be on the side of it, you need like a specific trucking license.
That's lame, dude.
You need to know how to.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt like the people on like backs are specifically there just to be in the back. I'm sure they drive it some days.
Yeah, that sucks.
I highly doubt it's like, oh yeah, my specific job title is being the guy in the back.
Actually, from what I've heard, Dustin, that is a specific job title, and the people who are in the back get paid less than the driver, I think.
Makes sense.
But I think the way it works is like, the people in the back are the people who are usually newer to the job.
Yeah.
And then you kind of work your way up to be the driver. Because if you think about it, the driver doesn't have to deal with the garbage themselves at all, really.
No, I think it might be a situation.
5 feet forward, pull over. It might 5 feet forward, pull over.
It might be a situation where they get paid more just because there's more liability in their job.
Maybe, yeah.
Because that's what I noticed, like when I changed from doing diet aid stuff to cooking, is that I get paid more for cooking, and honestly, it feels like less work. But then I think, but the people that are doing diet aid also don't have to like worry about like making sure food's made right and properly temped, and if there's like a choking thing, they don't get like asked about it. Which, speaking of that, I am sick and tired of these people that can't chew. I am sick and tired of it.
Why? You have to chew the food for them?
No, because here's the thing. There's this one guy at work, one resident.
All right.
Known that he can't chew, right?
Okay.
There is a thing at his seat in the dining room that says, and like this is like in words, it says, "Eat small bite, chew slowly, drink water, repeat."
Please.
He has that in front of him.
Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Can you just tell me this guy's favorite food is like steak?
Dude, that's one thing that they do, is that the people that can't chew always want the worst shit for them. Yep. Stuff that like they're guaranteed to choke on. But also, this guy, the reason he has that in front of him is because he eats so fast. He eats like he's trying to like win a race. And then like he just eats obviously he eats fast because he has to have a reminder in front of him. But he's like starts choking, and they have like a whole thing, and it's a whole thing, and I'm like, yeah, well, we all know that. We all know that he can't, and I'm like, dude, just slow down, please.
On that note, have you had to do like the Heimlich on someone?
I personally have not.
But have you seen someone have to do it?
I actually have not seen it, but I know it's happened.
Okay.
And I mean, I am trained on how to do it, and I could do it.
Oh, I mean, I'm trained on how to do it, but I
well,
don't know how to do it.
Yeah, but I'm like, you can't chew, dude. Eat slower, please.
Yeah.
I'm like, and they freak me out so much because then someone will just start coughing, and I'm like, oh no, and I go over to them, and they're fine, but I'm like, I get so worried for them because they all want to eat so fast, or they don't want to eat the food that's like prepared for them special because it looks bad when it's all ground up.
Yeah.
One resident for a while was told that he couldn't have bread, and he was crushed. He loves bread so much. And like after like a couple, like after like maybe like a year, the doctor had like cleared him to have bread again. And the first day, no, this is a good story.
Okay,
and like the first day he comes down, and it's dinner, and he comes up to me, and he looks so happy.
Yeah.
And he the first thing he tells me, he just basically just tells me over and over again that he's allowed to have bread again. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Here's 2 pieces of white bread for you on the house, buddy.
On the house.
On the house.
As though we don't get everything for free anyway.
Dude, they love that bit. I run that bit all the time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would say that all the time if I was in your shoes. I would say on that.
I run that bit all the time where if they ask for something, I do, you know, because they're deaf, they can't hear. So I just do the sign for money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, and they're like, some of them will like pretend to take their wallets out or something.
Here's the thing, okay, and I'm sure you would agree with me on this, Matt, is what would you say roughly is the average age of the people at the place you work at? Like mid-70s or?
Yeah, I think the youngest I'd say are like in their like 50s.
Okay.
And that's probably the young. And then
okay.
I mean, and then
but like most are probably like their 70s, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, if it's me and I reach the ripe old age of 75, and my options are to live like another 5 years and not eat any pie, or live only 1 more year and eat pie, fuck it, I'm just eat the pie. I don't care at that point.
Yeah.
Let me go out with a bang.
And there is like a thing
with the bang. You eat pie is going out with the bang.
That's a bang.
That's my diabetes. I don't care.
well, most of the food thing isn't. Well, it's a little bit weird because technically they do have the right to just be like, nah, I'm just gonna eat this. Mm-hmm. To a degree, they have. I think it's like the right to refuse care is like a thing that they have.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
So, but I'm not gonna like go against, but like sometimes it is like they do have like some have diets that like I have to like adhere to, and a lot of that is
the rat poison, Daryl.
No, and that typically is like the different textures because you have the one where it's just food that's like ground up. And then a couple people are on just like straight up puree, which is like we don't use a blender, but it's basically food that's in a blender.
Yeah, I've seen puree food. That's gross.
And it's more of a look thing because if you try it, it's like, oh, this is just the same thing. It's just it feels a little bit weird. You ever have thick liquids?
Yeah, milkshakes.
No, I mean like thick water.
Yeah. Oh no!
Yeah, the thickening to it.
Yeah,
I've never had that.
It's just for people that have an issue. I forget what it's called, but they have an issue swallowing, so they have to make it thicker. I think it's like honey nectar. It's like I think it's called nectar consistency, but it's kind of like honey.
Yeah,
a little bit looser. I've tried it. I tried the apple juice that we have of it. Tastes like apple juice. It sucks though. Like I think it honestly like half an hour later I still felt like I could feel it in my throat. I'm like, this is gross, dude.
Well, I know there's been a number of times where I would go to get a snack out of the cupboard in my house. And I would almost accidentally take the cookies that are for my baby nephew. Which, I haven't tasted them, but from my understanding, it's nothing bad, but they're apparently just, like, very kind of tasteless.
Yeah.
It's kind of, like, bland.
It is still just food. Yeah.
He likes them, though, so.
Did you guys know that butter spray, like, the, like cooking spray, it has a nutrition label on it?
Well, yeah, it has to.
I know. I mean, it made sense when I saw it, but I never really thought about it until I looked at it, and it just said 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
I mean, like, and anything that is edible, and
Yeah.
technically that has to be edible.
Yeah, and I'm saying it makes sense. Like when I saw it,
put thought into it.
I was like, huh. Like the big like tub of vinegar that we have too. Like that has a nutrition label on it. I'm like, huh.
Well, it's like my favorite thing is the bottles of Clear Choice that I drink. I look at the nutritional things on it, right? So these are the following facts that are on this label. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Calories per serving, 0.
0.
How many servings per container? 3. Calories per container, 10.
Yeah.
This thing does not exist. Based on the nutrition label, this thing should not be real, as all of the numbers are 0. But technically, somehow it exists
No.
in a physical form.
Per serving, there is 700 milligrams of potassium.
Wow, eat a banana. Like, I don't know, man.
Hey, it tastes good. It's water.
It is water.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. I never
chamomile extract in it too.
Oh, like the horse-looking things with the humps.
What?
They walk around the desert and they have like humps.
Camels.
People ride them. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yep, that's definitely what I said. Yep, you got it. You got it.
What he said, yeah.
Yep.
Like, why do you have camel extract in your drink? That's kind of fucked up, dude.
What are they doing to the camels?
What are they extracting from the camels?
Why the camels?
Wow, wait. That's funny. Not to bring it back to a previous conversation, but I'm totally going to bring it back to a previous conversation real quick.
Bring it back to a previous conversation.
So I scrolled down in the article that I pulled up earlier about the sports betting.
Mm-hmm.
And they apparently have put out a list of the sports that you are allowed to bet on.
Okay.
This is a very extensive list. You ready? This list is, and I quote, athletics. I don't know what the fuck that just means right off the bat.
Like Olympic stuff.
Okay, athletics. Australian rules football.
Rugby?
No. Australian rules football, Matt.
I thought that's right. Isn't that
badminton, baseball, football, basketball, biathlon, billiards, bowling, bowls, bull riding, boxing, cricket, cycling, darts, disc, floorball, whatever that is, football, futsal, golf, handball, field hockey, ice hockey, lacrosse, mixed martial arts, racing, netball, pesapalo, rowing, rugby league, rugby union, sailing, snooker, soccer, beach soccer, special events, swimming, table tennis, volleyball, and water polo.
Okay, there's a couple in there I need clarification on.
And then it says the list may be updated in the future with sports such as chess, esports, and professional cornhole.
There it is.
Professional cornhole recently plagued by a scandal known as Baggate? Wait, what is Baggate?
Dude, they were
was a cheating scandal called Baggate? Wait,
they were letting the beans. They were letting a few beans out of the bag.
What? Wait, Matt. I shit you not. You just nailed it.
I mean, what else could it be?
Was the #1 ranked doubles team using illegal beanbags? I thought the bags were too thin, recalls the person who lodges a complaint against the rivals. At stake was a $15,000 prize in a game where players tossed bags of resin beads into a small hole and slanted boards 27 feet apart.
Hey.
You know how cornhole works.
The bags are regulation size. They're too small. That's going to create some drama.
Explain you're from New England without saying you're from New England. How there was a scandal in sports and you're like, oh, let me just equate Deflategate to cornhole. That did answer the question, not the cornhole question. They did answer the esports one because I was wondering. Wondering about that.
Esports maybe added in the future.
Also, I don't know if you heard my joke, but you said like biathlon or something, and I said you could do that.
Oh, that's what you.
Funny.
He said biathlon. I'm like, that's crazy. What's the other one? What is a snooker?
Snooker is a British game. Isn't
that their word for kissing?
No, you're thinking of snogging. Snooker is.
Can I bet on that? Can I bet on that?
I guess, sure.
Yo,
it's a sport, so sure. I don't know all the rules, but it's sort of similar to billiards in that it uses like a billiard style table and balls similar to it. But there's like way more color balls, and I think you just like pick up a ball and roll it.
Interesting.
But there's like, I don't know all the rules. I know there's like pink balls and red balls, and there's a lot of colored balls.
There's a lot of balls. Okay, I understand. Yeah. I understand. Sounds like my kind of game.
But it's mostly a British game.
No, of course. Those wacky guys. Those wacky guys way over there. They don't. What are they doing?
Dude, on their tiny little island. I can't believe they thought they could rule over us.
Dude, they're crazy, man.
Dude,
they come up with
crazy.
They come up with a lot of crazy stuff over there.
Yeah.
Like what's some like
craziest thing they came out with? English language. Boom.
Dude, why would they do that? That was a mistake.
Seriously.
In it? What's in it?
Oi, love.
Govna. Butter. What a butter. Like, what are they doing over there?
Oh.
Man?
Shut up.
No!
Shut up.
Don't hit the player, hit the game! I see.
Oh, bastard.
Rob's over here making the goofy noise. All right, guys, you're ready to okay, well, ready, okay, guys, ready to start the podcast.
Audio listeners, absolutely nothing happened there.
All right, guys, let's start. Okay, I think it's about time we actually start the podcast. As you can see, Dustin's at the very beginning of the game.
M&M's, they're doing a Super Bowl thing.
Oh yeah, oh, god damn.
No.
I love the grim adventures of Billy. God damn it.
Dude, do you remember Fred Burger?
Oh, like you're right.
I have frozen yogurt.
Dustin wishes. We could restart.
We were talking about, you know, you said you didn't like fighting, or what was it? Not, it wasn't fighting games. What type of game you said you didn't like? Was it fighting games?
It's fighting games.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, the games I don't like, or one type of game I really don't like, are the ones that are supposed to be purposely frustrating, which is why when I suggested this game, I did not suggest that I do it.
I remember it was me and Matt talking, and I forget who brought up the idea of this game originally. I forget who brought it up.
I think it was in my Steam library, and I just happened to see it.
I immediately was like, oh, you know who I think should play this game? Dustin.
Because it
was partially because I knew if I played this game would, like, Dustin, I'll give you credit. You are being remarkably calm.
I'm goated.
He is goated.
Because I would be screaming if I just did that. I would be so mad I would storm off the podcast for a minute.
You have to go.
What I do instead is lightly slam my sledgehammer against stuff like this.
Wait, that's funny. Just like tap. Angry tap.
Yeah, because if you try going too hard, he just does this, because that's the mechanic of the game, so you can't really...
Yeah, you gotta do slow, controlled movements. You have to do everything slowly and with a purpose.
How does your arms work like that, bro?
Yeah, no. Can we talk about how much upper body strength this guy has? Like, holy shit!
Dude, I think he's all upper body strength. I don't think he's under there.
All right, so like, here's my game theory. You ready?
Game theory.
It's about to get real morbid. You ready?
Game.
This guy's only half a person. He doesn't have legs or a torso or anything. Like his lower half is just gone.
All right, here's my question. Here's how I want to work this.
Okay.
Stat this guy in terms of Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, maxed out strength.
Well, strength is a 20. Dex is like a solid 13 or 14.
I mean, Dex is also kind of like minute movements. I think he's pretty.
Yeah,
all right, I can go 16 or 17.
I think he's pretty dexed out.
I think Carl is kind of low because he only has half a body, though. Also, his intelligence is real low because there is so many things he can do to make this easier on himself.
Or maybe just
being stubborn.
Maybe just don't do it.
Yeah, first thing you do, get out of the pot, idiot.
So I want to stat his sledgehammer. So
you gonna put him in the tournament arc?
So the next tournament arc, yeah. So you take his sledgehammer. I say that you're looking at a solid D10.
Yeah.
D10 damage.
No,
perhaps
no.
2D.
I was gonna say more than that.
No, because here's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a two-handed weapon. So if you do it with two-handed, you do a little bit extra damage. So either you bump that up to a D12 or you do 2D10 for two-handed.
I think 2D10.
I think what you got. I think you do a little. You added a little extra ability, maybe as your attack action allows you to move a little bit. You get a little bit of movement with your attack action that doesn't go against your regular movement.
Okay, 10 feet of movement.
I think so. Maybe you can there is the charge where if you move a certain amount, actually there is some do have charge
speed,
where if you well, that's the thing, that was a pro move, you do if you some things have if you move a certain amount of damage, you can do extra damage, or if you move a certain distance before you attack.
Yeah,
I think this guy probably only has 15 base speed.
Yeah.
But if he moves that 15 base speed before he attacks, he could get some extra. He gets some extra damage.
Extra damage on maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he can also. I think he also probably has a fairly decent. I think he has a fairly high AC. Considering half of his body is just a metal cauldron.
Yeah, he should have the thing that turtles have, where you can hide in it.
Oh, I think that's I think that's plus. I think that's
Isn't
plus
it
a
+3? Yeah, it's a plus something.
Probably depends on whatever you find. I'm sure there's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, look, you're doing.
I'm pretty sure I found it was a +10.
So.
It just made it so it was impossible for you to get hit.
That's the Turtle Paladin loadout.
Yeah, so Kifa could have just hidden her shell the whole time.
100%.
Pretty sure she did a few times.
Yeah, I think so. Little bit of some secret knowledge.
Oh,
a little bit of some secret knowledge, some D&D stuff. We got Georgia. Georgia has joined us.
Georgia has joined us.
Georgia has joined us.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you one thing: the stats that he rolled better than most of the party, because y'all stats sucked.
Wait,
yeah.
Georgia.
Did Dustin know about this, Matt?
Georgia.
Yeah, I don't think Dustin knew, Matt.
Yeah.
He re-rolled?
No, he's making a new character.
He rolled something. Yeah.
Dustin.
He was so shocked. Yeah, no. No. Georgia.
Were you just done having a level 21 character with us, or did he make that on his own?
I at first gave him a choice of that, and then after the fact, I was like, "Dude, okay, here's the real talk. Either we keep your character in the game as level 20, now level 21 due to the epic leveling kind of homebrew thing, But he's like, I'm gonna have to target you.
Yeah,
because it's ridiculous. Because you can do like 60 damage a turn.
Oh yeah,
and that's insane. And he was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was like, "Okay." And then we figured it out. I am very excited. I'm not going to tell you anything about his character.
Okay,
but
can I ask this? Can I ask
this? Yes.
How many stats did he get a 15 or higher?
15 or higher.
Because you said he rolled good stats.
Yeah, but just remember like what your guys' base stats were specifically.
Oh, yeah,
he did not roll better than Fanning's stat.
Oh, he didn't do better than Fanning. Okay.
But Fanning also rolled very well.
Yeah,
Fanning rolled like nothing before. Yeah, he rolled like nothing but 14s and 15s on and when the max that you can roll is an 18, that's insane.
Yeah.
That is actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's very fun.
And I also know that the class that I guessed for Georgi is not accurate, so.
Well, the thing about that is you guessed, and I didn't know at the time. What? And then he said no. Also, I'll just let you know he hadn't decided at that point.
Oh.
So he kind of just said no to whatever you said. I think you said wizard.
Yeah, I had guessed wizard.
But it could be.
Okay.
But no, we're gonna that so.
So is that gonna just be an introduced thing next session?
Yeah. Much like it's gonna happen pretty quickly.
Okay.
And it's definitely gonna be a thing where suddenly a character is gone, and then suddenly you guys see a new character. And it's like, I wonder.
And we're just like, that's weird. Well, I guess you are here.
Kinda. I'm actually really excited.
Okay.
But
Georgi has to do an accent. Like he's not getting out of doing an accent.
Speaking of Georgi, hey Rob, I have something to tell you.
Oh no, what?
We were duped.
We
were so fucking duped.
On
so we've been playing Minecraft. Yeah, we've been playing Minecraft.
No,
and we
tell me, don't you fucking tell me.
And we built an underground thing, and we built an underground thing where I built a house underground, and Rob.
I'm gonna shut up.
And Rob did some terraforming, and at first, I think it was like a goat and a llama had spawned, and we were like, "That's weird." I guess maybe we did something weird with the maybe like we tricked the game into thinking that we had like it was like a biome it wasn't or something. And then a polar bear spawned, and we were so confused as to how that happened.
Keep in mind that the moment I see this polar bear, I immediately accuse Matt and Georgi of fucking with me.
Here's the thing. No, you didn't. You accused me.
All right. Well,
and I am so, and I'm like, damn. He very clearly accuses me of me doing it and having Georgi as my accomplice. It's not an even thing, because going after the fact, he kept asking me. And to his credit, this is definitely something I would do.
Right.
But I would have quit it earlier on.
That's why I stopped, and I was like, shit, I believe you. You're telling me Georgi was doing it and tricking
which is why when I was like, I didn't even expect Georgi to do this on his own. And I'm like, and then so we were playing the other night, Rob was not there, and apparently there are zombie horses in the game now. Like there are like zombified horses, and I started seeing those spawn. I was like, Georgi? He was like, what? I was like, do you see the and then shortly after that he showed me that he was the one doing it. And I realized he was just doing it like
creative, give himself eggs.
Yeah, and doing invisible too. And the thing is, and here's something that I learned. Also, I did not tell him I was telling you this. But I knew I was going to tell you on the podcast because I wanted your reaction.
God.
And I realized that we have a significant.
Playing Minecraft, I was like, no.
We have a, and then I found
an hour and a half googling why polar bears are spawning underground.
I did too. I was trying to figure it out too, and I realized that between me and Rob, there's a huge difference.
I'm so mad
because I knew how Rob would react, and I knew he'd be upset, and I'm like, this is different because when I found out, I didn't have a sense of like shame that I got duped, or
I have a sense of shame.
angry that he did it. I just had this sense of pride in my heart. I was so proud of him.
I wouldn't say I have shame or anger, but I certainly wouldn't say I have fucking pride.
I am so proud of our boy.
Oh my!
Because I do this shit all the time, and I feel like
he would have had to go in creative and get these eggs well beforehand. Because we would have seen him put in a command to go into creative.
Here's the thing. You don't see it when you're on a bucket server.
What do you mean?
Because I changed the server from regular vanilla to bucket so we could have like the cool commands.
Okay.
On a bucket server, there isn't an in-game thing that says has switched to creative.
Are you? Oh.
Like also spawning in items doesn't show up. That's only on a vanilla server. So the fact that I had done that, I had put us on a bucket server just so I could do like /hat and put a block on my head was the reason he was able to get away with it.
Oh man.
But I was just so
I'm sending him a DM right now.
No, don't. Wait, just tell him in person.
Oh my god. Wow.
But I was just like, I do this type of stuff all the time, and I think it's to the point where really the only joy I get out of it is people just being fed up with my bullshit. Like that's really all that happens. Especially if it's like Rob's involved. So I don't get that anymore.
I remember, and again, I understand definitely that you had no knowledge and you did not partake in this time. I get that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like, I remember the first thing that spawned was a goat. And I was like, that's really weird. But, we made a mountain. I can sort of rationalize. When the polar bear spawned, I immediately started accusing you and George. And immediately you're like, Rob, it really isn't me. And I'm like, I don't fucking believe you. And you were so upset that I would not believe you that you were fucking with me. And I guess you hurt, but now you understand why I was
What bugs me about you accusing me is that there is a pattern that I follow, right? Yep. There is a pattern that I follow when I do these things, when I'm doing a wee little bit of trolling, and basically it's like comedies in 3 parts. I'll do like one thing that seems normal, one thing that's a little weird, and then I'll finish it with something so wacky that the intent is that you realize that I'm messing with you. But I don't keep it going that long. So when it's like the second day of this and you're still questioning me, I'm a little bit upset. Not because you think I'm not being trustful with you, because you think I would let a bit go on that long. I would never do that.
Georgia did.
And you know what? I think he's based for that. Based on what? I don't know. But based on something.
I
literally, first thing I said, I was like, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you for pulling that off. That is really fucking funny. Also, I knew I'd be able to tell you on the podcast, and I was so excited for that.
I don't know what to say at this point, other than hey, you're doing good, Dustin. Don't fuck up.
Hey, we got God.
Oh and my God, did we get God? Holy shit! We got
God.
Yo!
I just didn't expect, because I don't expect it from other people. So when other people do it,
something I thought about when we were talking about D&D.
What's up, Dustin?
I do feel like there are times where we kind of just make references to D&D while recording this, and we don't dive into it at all.
Well, I think we had talked about doing an episode where we talk about everything we did in the campaign.
I know you said that, but do you guys have like a story from the campaign that you would like to tell right now? That you just like you really want to say?
Oh, I'll say it. It's a real it's a very, very, very simple story. Okay.
Okay. And I'll be here to provide.
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple, and it's a joke that we reference all the time. So, when we first started our first campaign, most of us were, I won't say experienced D&D players, but most of us had played D&D before. And the only one who hadn't was Dustin.
Okay,
and
true.
Boy, there was a way that we immediately realized that in the first session.
Okay.
So
he's already getting defensive about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard him say okay.
Just keep talking. You telling the story is gonna give me more mad than this game ever will.
Hey, you brought it up, so so we started off inside of a, what was it, like a tavern, right?
Yeah, it's a tavern, yep.
So we started off in a tavern, and we're doing typical tavern things. My character's a bard, so of course he's trying to get a room for free by playing his instrument that night. Typical bard thing, other than the lack of seducing people. Gets late at night, and Matt, who is our DM, describes the situation, I believe, as, while the night is winding down, it is just you all and, like, the bartender. And all of a sudden, there is a knock at the door. Now, the rest of us being experienced D&D players, whether we like to or not, to a certain extent, you're kind of meta when you play the game. And this was about, probably, like, 2 hours into the session at this point?
Yeah, I'd say so.
It was a decent amount of the session, so I think, without talking really about it, we all kind of were like, oh, this is about to get into combat, isn't it?
It's a very much and I actually, I feel weird saying this, I wrote a paper in college about this.
Yeah.
It's this kind of instinctual thing. I would compare it to video game players when they see a waterfall.
They just instinctively are like, oh,
there has to be something hidden behind the waterfall.
Right.
So, and that's very much what everyone else had. Also,
experience.
Yeah, you just do this. Good. I want to make it was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
that's very much what it was. It was very it was obvious in that sense, not because they wanted to like read into what I was doing. It's like, oh, okay, suspicious knock at the door. We haven't had combat yet.
Yeah. So the rest of us take certain actions. I forget exactly what we did, but I think it was like we readied weapons and stuff like this.
Someone hid behind a table.
Right, someone hid behind a table. Dustin's character, and again, I will accept Dustin's defense here because I think it's a legitimate defense. Dustin's character just goes over and opens the door.
A totally normal thing to do, a non-metagamey thing to do that somehow the inexperienced player understood over the experienced players. This has nothing. I knew there was a combat coming. I knew that much. It just makes no sense that when someone knocks at the door, you kick a table over and get your bow and arrow ready. You open the door.
Dustin. I will not defend what I've said in the past, but what I will say right now is I more or less agree with you in that what you were doing was as little metagaming as you could possibly do. Okay. And what you did is absolutely a very rational thing to do. But we all gave you so much shit over the last 3 years for that. Oh, and the reason we gave him shit is he opens the door, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's 2 bugbears, and one immediately punches him in the face.
Yeah. Well, no, technically I swung first, based on the combat initiative. You
swung first?
Because I was first in initiative.
Oh,
probably,
nice.
You probably would have been. Yeah.
But yeah, that's right, really quickly off the top of my head. Oh, and then going on from that, the barkeep very upset with us for, killing people in his bar. So my character kind of just stalks him for the rest of the campaign.
Yes, he very the innkeep
Eldrin.
His name was Eldrin. We'll use his name. We'll treat his name with respect.
Yeah, we will give that name dignity in this podcast.
He very much associated at first it was the entire party. He definitely just associated the party with just like bringing bad people to his business.
Even though we had nothing to do with why they came.
I mean, you kind of did. It was George's character. That was
George's
the reason you were there.
Yeah. Oh, true. It was George's character.
He very much associated just like he just got PTSD every time he saw you. So when you would when you specifically, Rob, would make every interaction with him as like intense and like personal as like possible, and like you'd go, you freaked him out. You just made it worse every time.
So, something else I will bring up about that first session is that a one-off thing in that session became a multi-year mystery in that one of the first things we learn is that the cook is missing.
Specifically, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of not questioned for a while because it's just this generic thing that is said and, stuff happens. Come to find out near the end of the campaign that, like, everything that happened to us was, in more or less, it was a butterfly effect because this chef was murdered. And after 2.5 campaigns, we still don't know who the fuck killed this chef. Matt claims he has an actual answer. Does not tell anyone it.
I have not told a single person.
Basically only said that the only way we're getting that information right now is he would put it on his tombstone if he died.
That is true. And the one thing about DMs, one thing that a similar thing we all share, for the most part. I don't know, Rob, if you have this, but especially if you are talking to someone who is not in your campaign, we have kind of this sense of like, we find a lot of joy in being like, hey, you want to hear some shit I can't tell anyone, because it's like I want to tell someone about this so badly, and I can't tell certain people about it. I won't even tell anyone that.
I do that for short-term things. For example, if I am planning the next session, I will absolutely talk to other people in my Discord about the session. Not in text, but in voice.
Yeah.
But as far as like a whole campaign-wide thing, no, I really don't do that. If I remember correctly, though, I think I did discuss with one person in my Discord essentially what I kind of wanted to do with the end game of campaign 2. And if I remember correctly, they liked the idea, so I'm very happy with how campaign 2 is coming along.
Couple things, because I was actually I was talking to George while we were talking about his new character. I was filling him in on some things about the campaign.
With the campaign 3?
Yeah, I was filling. Just in general, also because he wasn't in campaign 2.
Right, so, he wasn't in campaign 2.
I was filling him in on some stuff.
On some lore.
One thing was I don't remember who was there. I think Dustin may have been the one that wasn't there. But at we were out at like the arcade bar or whatever.
Okay.
And that's when I had done the iconic like looking into the cube. The cubes they had there and doing the picture. I didn't realize this wasn't a known thing, but when I was doing that, I was referencing the stuff, the cube being a relevant part of the campaign as like an artifact had already existed, had already been written into it. George thought that I took that one moment and turned it into something. I was like, no, it existed before that, but only in my head. So I saw a cube in real life, and I was like, oh shit, it's like my lore. And I just did it, and then it stuck. So it seemed like it originated from that first, which is not how it happened.
Wait, so you coming up with pondering the cube in terms of D&D?
Yeah.
Was before the meme with the cube existed in real life?
It was before I did it. I was referencing my own unreleased lore when I did that.
Okay. I thought you were just referencing the Pond of the Orb meme and then decided to mix those two together. So Pond of the Cube was already an idea you had, separate of Pond of the Orb.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
It existed before that.
Oh
I know the cube did. I just thought Ponder the Cube was like, wow.
It existed before that. I didn't realize that people didn't know that. Or I guess it never occurred to me that people would have associated with that. But I guess now that I think about it, no one would have known about that beforehand.
Dude, you want to talk about things that people don't know? Oh no. Oh.
Things people don't know beforehand.
Yeah, things people don't know beforehand.
Yeah, so,
dude, you know what I didn't know? That the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy had a fighting game. I didn't know that.
15 characters, right, Robert?
That's crazy. You want to list them off real quick?
In alphabetical order. Anyways. Sorry, what were you saying, Robert?
I'm so sorry, Dustin.
This was a great idea. I love this.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, what I was gonna say. I want to talk about a really, really funny concept that ended up never getting used for campaign 1. Because my campaign 1. Campaign 1. The Pokemon campaign 1. So when I created, basically, with the first Pokemon campaign, they were all trainers, and most of them were collecting gym badges. There were 18 gyms, and the region was unofficially divided into 4 sections. Basically, the top left, top right, and bottom right.
Yeah.
One of the storylines that ended up never getting used, because we basically ended up not doing much at all in the top left quadrant, was in regards to the fighting and psychic type gym. Where the fighting... what was it? It was something along the lines of the fighting type gym. If you remember, / the people who don't know the campaign aren't going to know this, but one of the big lore things is that no one had ever successfully gotten all 18 gym badges.
Yeah.
Some people had gotten close at 17. but no one had gotten all 18. Well, one of the people who have gotten the closest at 17 is actually the fighting gym leader themselves. And the only one that they have not earned is the psychic gym, which is like the next town over.
Which makes sense due to type matchups.
Right. Here's where it gets funny, okay? The lore that I had established is that every weekend, the fighting gym leader goes to the psychic gym, challenges them, loses, and returns to their gym bitter. Every single time they go to the psychic gym, they use their strongest physical move against a Wobbuffet who lives and then just uses counter and kills them.
It's just rinse it. It's
just rinse and repeat. Just never learn their lesson. And yeah, so there was going to be a Wobbuffet. That was going to be the main Pokemon of the Psychic Gym, was Wobbuffet. I didn't have like every single gym's team planned out, but that was something I always knew, was there was always going to be a Wobbuffet in the Psychic Gym. And it was pretty much only going to use Protect, Counter, Mirror Coat.
Typical Wobbuffet in the OU.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It was going to use the stupidest moves just to piss people off. But that ended up basically not happening.
Thank you for specifying that most people were collecting the gym badges. It makes me feel seen and heard.
Yeah, Matt was not, and
he wasn't really a gym goer.
Yeah, you were the only one.
I was not a gym goer. I did collect one because I was like...
You did collect one because you were somewhat dragged into it.
I was dragged into it. I was like, no, I'm just not going to do it. And they're like, you're doing it. I'm like, fuck.
And then he won our tournament arc.
No, I didn't win. It was Fanning.
Oh, it was Fanning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you were second.
No, actually, no, I won. Actually. No, I did win.
I'm going to be honest. I think we all lost.
All I remember about the gym...
I'm an avid tournament arc
enjoyer.
Well,
I'll defend it to the day I die. I'm enjoying that.
Average backstory lore fan versus average tournament arc enjoyer.
I like tournament arcs as well, and there probably will be a tournament arc of some sort in this Pokemon campaign as well. But it sure as hell is not going to take 2 months.
2 real life months. It
was like 7 or 8 sessions. It was
7 or 8 sessions. Yeah.
It was because I had a great idea in theory, but failed to consider how long the idea was really gonna take, and that was my biggest issue. Where in hindsight, there are so many ways that I could have done it better, and I just failed to take advantage of them. But I don't think that'll be an issue this time.
Dude, speaking of D&D, potentially doing things better.
Yeah.
We talked last week about how about like the Hasbro Wizard of the Coast open game license fiasco. Yep. We won.
Yeah, didn't they like completely?
The people won
on it 100%.
The people won. We did it, gamers. First, we got them to fix the Sonic for the Sonic movie.
And now we have our open game license? Is that what it stands
and now
for?
we saved D&D. We did it. We're the best. We're great.
Or is that one dick is gonna say that we both won or something?
Or something like that. Yeah.
I remember like they're supposed to have like a stream or something, and then they got canceled because everyone was mad.
No. And not one stream, Dustin. They canceled like 3 or 4 in a row.
But then there was that one guy who was like, they're gonna think that they won, but in reality, we also won because we got their feedback on how they feel about this. Shut up, bro. You don't care.
Shut up. Yeah, which is why Jennifer Aniston. Another thing I was telling Georgia about, which is perhaps one of my favorite like small, like short, like D&D things that we did. and that I've considered like actually making it into like actually writing it out to be a thing that can be like replicated, because I think it worked really well. Was when I had you guys as experienced D&D players do the Wizard of the Coast beginner adventure for 5e.
Yep.
fairly recently.
Yep.
Where in short, I made them do the most bog standard generic meet a shady guy at a tavern, go investigate a cave story. And it was all very meta. It was very like welcome to Genericsville.
Yeah, like, not only was it meta, but like you also essentially started acting like a very inexperienced DM.
I did role. Like, I also got to role play.
You would let us almost roll to deceive you, the DM.
Yeah, and then that's like, one of the reasons. Weird. That's one of the reasons that it was one of my favorite things, because there was two things in particular that worked out incredibly well. So much that like I'm like, that could not have worked out purposely. One was planned, where the first combat that they did was they had to assault a troop of goblins, and they just wiped them because they're like level 10 characters fighting goblins with an AC of 10 and whatever.
Yeah.
And after they do that and they comment on how easy it was, I say, don't worry, guys, I'll make the balance for the next one better. And they all like are collected, and they're all
just glossed over it.
No, most of you were like, "Oh no, Rob did, because you didn't pick up on it." for the most part, I don't know where Rob was at this point, but everyone else was like, "Oh no."
Maybe we were all immediately said, "Oh no."
No, maybe I did pick up on it then. I don't remember.
Maybe, but it was collectively like, "Oh no," and I was wondering like if you would actually pick up on it or not, but everyone did. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, I know what that means. I know what happens when a new DM tries to balance things better. Right. It's either way too easy or it's an instant TPK."
It becomes a TPK.
And that moment of everyone picking up on it was great for me. I love that so much. The other thing happened shortly after that, which was not planned.
I'm trying to think if I can think of.
It was when you guys effectively gaslighted me into giving you more gold.
Yes,
because I gave you as much gold as they have, and I'm like, they're not really rich goblins. They were just kind of chilling. They don't have a lot of gold. And then someone was like, "That's it," and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Oh, is that not enough?" Because I'm just rolling with the noob DM bit. Yeah. I'm not thinking about the consequences of what I just said. And then you're like, "No, I think you would actually give. I think they'd have like 5,000 gold, or something stupid."
We did do something really stupid like that.
And how? Remember how I was saying that when George A duped us in Minecraft, I was proud.
Yeah,
I was proud. I was so proud of you guys.
You knew you were being duped, and you just
because you all picked up on the fact that I was doing a bit. And then you use that to your advantage. And maybe I shouldn't be glad that you guys were like, let's take advantage of this idiot. But I was so glad that you did that.
Let's put this in no uncertain terms, okay?
Yes.
For about 2.5 campaigns, I have never seen every player in the campaign get on the same page faster than us deciding to just fuck you over and give us like 5,000 gold.
Like, no, that is totally what you should do.
We all went from a 0, like no one said it, and immediately I think it went in turn. Someone said, "I think we should get 30 gold." Someone said, "I think we should get 100 gold." Someone said, "I think we should get 5,000 gold." And then we all agreed that 5,000 gold.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I'm like, and I was so,
I remember just being like, because when I heard this, we had already known at this point that you were acting like a dumb DM.
New. I wouldn't say dumb. I'd say new.
New. Okay. So, not to use your own words against you, but I realized at that moment, I was like, all right, there's two things Matt can do here. He can be the cool DM,
which I think I tend to be.
Which you tend to be and absolutely were in this case. Or you could say no.
You're like, no, what guys? That's what you're talking about. But no.
Speaking of fun D&D moments and being the cool DM, I remember near the end of the first Pokemon campaign, near like around like I don't want to say near the end, but near the latter part of the campaign, Matt and I came up with the idea that canonically his character had been a Ditto the entire time.
Yes. And I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I had no, I mean, I as a person knew, but I'm like, yeah, my character doesn't know he's actually a Ditto. Mm-hmm. I think that'd just be really funny because Detective Pikachu can establish that Dittos can be people too.
Yep.
And I love that.
So I allowed that, thinking really nothing much of it other than, oh, that's a funny gag. And maybe we'll have the real Vernal show up somewhere. And they have to like figure out which is the real Vernal. But then they realize the one they've been traveling with was not the real Vernal. Which is essentially what happened.
A very Spider-Man end of the Spider-Verse.
Right. So essentially what happened was we get to Vernal's house. Vernal walks out. And I want to say it was Fanning's character's like, you're an imposter. And then like after a minute, they're like, wait, you're not an imposter. Wait, are you an imposter?
Wait, what?
But the reason I bring this up is, near the end of the campaign, Matt started asking me, and was like, Rob, there's going to be a moment in the last session where you're going to have to make a decision. And you can be the cool DM and let it happen, or
you can be lame.
Or you can be lame, is what you said.
Or you can be lame.
And you wouldn't explain what it was, but I started slowly piecing it together. This fucker, their final boss is Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina and Arceus. This fucker forgets his own Pokemon. He uses Transform because he himself is a Ditto on Arceus.
I wanted to transform into God, and I had told Fanning about this prior. We had talked about it prior, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna see if anything of my own, of me running games for Rob. I wanted to see if any of the fact that if it's funny or cool, you let it happen. And I wanted to see if any of that had rubbed off onto you. This was me figuring out, and you did, and to your credit,
and I passed and I allowed it to happen.
You let it happen, and I was very happy.
I allowed it to happen and simply made it clear, hey, if you get knocked out, you're reverting back to Ditto form. Not to Vernal form, to Ditto form.
Fully aware.
And I was like, and if you want to go back to Vernal form, you're going to have to go track down real Vernal again.
You know what's fucked up?
He was okay with it, so I said, all right, then yeah, sure, totally fine.
You know what's actually fucked up about that?
Yeah. That you never went back and transformed
No.
again?
I had a monologue planned.
You had a monologue planned? And you didn't do it?
You know why I didn't do it? Because you fucked it up.
Wait, how did I fuck it up?
By sending us into that other plane for a little bit. You sent us into like a pocket dimension. And that ruined and that fucked up the whole pacing of everything.
Oh.
And I never gotten up. It was because a moment came where I would have had to do it. But but the situation was different, so the monologue that I had prepared didn't work. But I had a whole monologue planned, and I never got to do it because
that's a shame
of something that obviously you didn't know, and it was just a mechanic that I obviously could not have known about. But I had a whole monologue planned.
I'm assuming that what you're talking about was, I think Giratina it was either a move or a legendary action that essentially brought you to it, or it might have been Palkia. I think it was
either Palkia or Dialga, because
I know I'd given them legendary actions based on time and space and stuff like that. Because I think Dialga's was he could just take like a second action because essentially the same time ability you had in your campaign. And I think Palkia's was to bring you to a different dimension. And so, yeah, you wouldn't have known to expect that at all. But damn, do you still... Was this like a written out monologue you had?
It wasn't like written out, but I had been going through it in my head. Like I had it. I don't remember it anymore.
Do me... Oh, man.
What was like the aspect of it? Like, what was the message? Do you remember that much, or?
It was like, oh god, I don't even remember. I
really wish we had heard this.
It was like, because I remember it being in character, and Vernal's not the brightest guy.
No.
Vernal is min-maxed. Is as close to me as I can imagine. Being min-maxed being min-maxed is intelligence and wisdom, because I feel like I kind of know a lot of shit, but when it comes to intelligence, I'm just also an idiot.
I feel like you have more intelligence than Vernal did, though.
Yeah, well, Vernal was also like, yeah, that's... Well, Vernal also would, like, go up to a person that clearly hated him and has to shake his hand.
Yeah, like...
Maybe a little bit exaggerated. But it was basically, like, a whole thing where, like, Vernal just, like... He was just like, I just don't... Like, why are we... It was very much like like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? Like, none of this makes sense. Like, why do people want the world to end? Like, just not understanding the fact that, like, why, like, there are people that want to hurt other people. Mm-hmm. And just being like, this is, like... And then I was just gonna be like, I just subconsciously just, like, kind of realize that, like, I'm a Ditto. And Dittos do one thing. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. And then I was gonna, like, transform.
Oh, damn.
I kind of wish I had. If I had somehow had the knowledge that I would not have been able to do it, I would have written it out. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, no,
I totally get it. Where it's like, I can sit here and acknowledge that you wanted to surprise everyone, including me, which is why you didn't tell me ahead of time. Mm-hmm. You can acknowledge that I obviously didn't know about this, but I also wasn't going to tell you what was going on in the combat, so you didn't know about it. So it's not like that's unfortunate. It's not like anyone's to blame. That's just really unfortunate that we didn't get to hear this.
I did, but I did it. Yeah, I did have a monologue plan.
Damn.
And I thought it was gonna be cool, but I mean, it's not the first time the things that I wanted to do like just were unable to happen. Yeah. So
I know there was one other small thing that I had planned for the first campaign that I ended up not doing. It was just going to be so when the campaign started, you guys could have gone left or right. Mm-hmm. And there was a major city both to the left and to the right. Essentially, because that was going to be like within the next 2 sessions, I had a plan for both if you went left and right. You guys ended up going right. The plan that I ended up having for if you went left, I ended up not using at all. Yeah, you guys went right to Zap.
That is the exact opposite of how you guys tend to act now. Because now the bit is that we always go left.
We've calmed down the bit a little bit.
But when we started campaign 2, I don't think that was a joke. Or when we started Pokemon campaign 1, that wasn't a joke yet. I don't think.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
So the basic idea that I had, and I think in hindsight, it wouldn't have been that good of an idea, but maybe I would have workshopped it and it would have been fine. But the basic idea of it was that in the city, if you remember, this is the city where I think your character, Matt, gets a sword. Someone got a sword.
Oh, I got a sword, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got a sword.
Well, so if you remember, it was a forge, and it was also a Pokeball factory, right?
Yeah.
There was going to be a thing where a couple of Pokeballs got mixed in with a couple of Voltorb, and they wanted you to figure out which was which. So you would be told there were like 6 Pokeballs and 4 Voltorb. And if you touched one of the Voltorb, it would electrocute you, and then you'd have to defeat it. So it'd basically just become a guessing game.
And I would have promptly just done them all.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like I said, that's something where, like... Because, I mean, I think you would very much agree with me, where... after the first half of the campaign, I was, as the campaign went on, I got to be a better DM.
I mean, yeah.
When the campaign first started, I was like, oh, that's a fun idea. And then as the campaign went on, I was like, I don't really like this idea. It's not going to be as good as I want it to be. And that's part of the reason why I just never did it.
Yeah.
Partially because I was like, what level? Because by the time you got to that city, you guys are like level 12 or whatever. It's like, what level am I going to make these Voltorb? Like 13? This is stupid at this point. And then just like making a complete random... maybe I would have come up with a way that you could tell the difference, but I don't know.
Nah, you can't get married and stuff in D&D.
No. Even my big overall plan for this campaign, I have an idea that I really want to execute it.
Good Pokemon.
But the issue with it, without going into it at all, because I really don't, the issue is that it's a concept that I think you guys will either absolutely love or absolutely hate. And the question is do I think it's worth pulling the trigger on the idea? And right now, I'm leaning towards yes. But by the end of the campaign in like 8 months, we'll see,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But I will... no, I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Nah.
Better have nothing to do with Fred.
Oh, fuck.
What I will say is it was an idea I had before the campaign began. So no, it has nothing to do with Fred. That being said, I may be working Fred into things.
Fred, for those curious, is a tree.
Don't be curious. You don't need to know. It's not worth your time.
These fuckers spent an hour and a half.
Much like it wasn't worth any of our time. It will not be worth your time. The only Fred you need to worry about is Fred Burger.
Dude, can this episode just be called like Fred Burger's Cult or something?
God damn it.
Dude.
Dustin rage quit. Dustin leaves the podcast.
Oh my god. Getting over it with Dustin.
Getting over it with Dustin Foddy.
With Dustin Foddy. I like it. Oh boy.
Tom Clancy said what?
Yeah, that could be a good one based on the one that got 100 views.
No, jeez.
And then they have to watch all the plays, see what Tom Clancy said.
That being said, Dustin.
Robert.
You were the one who kind of brought up the D&D talk. Was there a story that you had that you wanted to talk about?
I did, but now I kind of have a new one that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Well, I guess I should ask you guys if I should even bring it up.
Speak your truth.
Is where I thought Robert was going with. Do we want to talk about Fanning's thing from campaign 1? Technically, all of our things, but we keep associating with Fanning.
Do you mean like the logical conclusion?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, okay. I'm not.
You'll pick up. Okay, Rob, you'll pick up on it.
I'm sure I will. I'm just not sure exactly what he's referring to.
And you're gonna know it based on the first sentence.
Okay.
Here, I'll explain I'll explain what has happened so far. What the characters should have known so far. Okay. And this can get kind of lore.
Okay. I know.
There we go.
About. Yeah. Okay.
So, without getting too deep into the lore of Campaign 1, there are 3 students. Okay? There are 3 students. They came from space, each in their own individual kind of capsule temple type deal, and crash landed onto Earth or whatever the planet is. Right?
Yep.
They
crash landed.
Whoa, you only said it once to us.
They crash landed.
They crash landed.
They crash landed. Much like Dustin did just right now. Much like right now. They crash landed.
Did Dustin just leave?
No.
Oh, it sounded like you just got up and stormed off.
One of them crashed. One of these temples were found in the water off the coast of one of the cities that the players were from. Where George's character was from. Another one was found in kind of a mountain range, or kind of mountainous area outside of a different city. Basically, getting to these temples was a race against the big bad at the time. So the players and important NPCs were basically thrown into a room and are like, we need to figure out where the last temple is and how we're going to attack it.
Well, we knew where the third temple was. Like, we knew coordinate-wise.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
And what happens is Fanning, in his infinite wisdom, comes up with the conclusion. And the reason that the last one must be in the sky. And the reason that he thought that was, one, it kind of makes sense, I guess. One is in the water, one is on land, one being in the sky. There were 3 gods that were also kind of your enemies that represented land, sea, and sky. Keep in mind, they were separate.
Totally separate.
They were not related to these 3 students and their temples at all. But Fanning, and I'm so happy he's not here to defend himself, because he would not have let me get this far.
Oh, yeah.
In his infinite wisdom, thought that the last one must be in the sky. The third temple that crash landed must be in the sky. Crash landed.
I do want
my favorite thing looking back at it is how immediately after he said it, he said big brain.
He did say big brain.
He was saying that one Campaign 1.
He thought he got me.
Yeah.
He thought he figured me out.
Here's the thing, okay? And I will say this in defense of Fanning, since Fanning is not here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The way we're telling this story makes it sound like Fanning suggested this, thinking he was so smart, and then we all laughed and were like, you're an idiot, they crashed it.
No.
Every single player, myself, Dustin, all of us, immediately were like, oh shit, Fanning, you're 100%.
We all agreed with him.
You all agree with him.
You give a shit for Fanning, but in reality, we're all equally guilty.
Yeah.
He's just the one who started us down the wrong path. We all could have put the hard brakes on it. All it took was one person, campaign with 5 players in it. All it took was one player saying, guys, they crash landed. And we would have been like, oh yeah, right.
It wasn't until we actually got to the temple.
In an airship, mind you.
Yeah, because I was in the air, but we'll ignore that for now. We won't talk about that. But we got there. We got to the temple. We saw it was underwater. We were all kind of shocked. Session ends. I think Fanning left. He wasn't even here for this. I think it was actually just us 3. And then Matt goes, "Hey guys, now that we're here, I just want to ask you. You know the story of the temples, right?" And then we go, "Yeah. There were spaceships that crashed land." Oh.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was one of those things where we just didn't really put 2 and 2 together.
I was worried that I had done a bad job of explaining, and I'm like,
no, good on you, Matt, though, because we brought it up, and you immediately let us then have a discussion for like a solid hour and a half. We had a discussion on whether it made more sense to go get the materials to build an airship or to just steal one.
And I think, and the reason that, and the way,
not need an airship.
And the way that I always like to end this story, and I think it's in part because it's true, and it's something I think this situation taught me. Also, I want to give Fanning credit. Because I also, at any point, could have said, because there were multiple NPCs in the room. Any one of them could have said, "Yeah, that doesn't make sense." But I chose to go along with it. And where I give Fanning credit and what I learned is that, and we'll talk about it when we actually do like the full explanation of at least campaign 1. Is that I think the arc, not arc. Wait, fuck. I think the. I have a character named Ark, and that just threw me off so much.
Guess in the comments how it's spelled.
I think that the series of events that took place after that, where how you got an airship, that airship almost went down, so you took another one that was like chasing after you. You had to do it.
We killed the big bad's big cat.
You perhaps. Thank you, Dustin. I think
I couldn't remember who it was.
During them stealing the airship and getting to the last temple, Dustin not only killed a very important NPC, the only reason he was able to do that was because I just blanked on the fact that I had put him in the battle map, not thinking anyone would care about him. Dustin goes over and just beats the shit out of him, and there's nothing I can do. If you think that
just like one shot him, basically,
he doesn't one shot him. He does like
4 rows. In 4 rows, I rolled like 3 nat 20s.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And I'm like, I have nothing I can do. This character's dead. Anything I wanted to do with this character moving on is gone because I fucked up. And Dustin capitalized on that without even knowing that was something that I didn't expect. Also, Dustin creates perhaps one of the best things, which is his character donning a captain's hat and suddenly becoming Captain Keith.
Captain Keith's pirate adventure.
Spawning a whole DLC mission. And none of that would have happened if it wasn't for Fanning making us misinterpreting the situation. And like that, and it, he has to deal with the fact that it was his mistake that did that.
Oh, we all made dumb mistakes though.
But that's one of the most iconic. That's one of the most iconic things that has happened to this group in D&D. And it honestly is probably one of like my favorite 3 to 4 session spans of things that has happened. So like, if you're just let shit happen, because honestly, most of the time that people do some stupid stuff, it leads it to the best stuff that happens in the game, and it is the stuff people remember and laugh about. So go with it.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
I remember a really quick moment, and this is again just going with the flow as a DM more than anything else. I remember one moment, this is such a minor thing, back in the original campaign, not the original campaign, sorry, the first Pokemon campaign that I DM'd. There's a point where I'm not even going to get into George's character, really, because that could take an hour-long discussion there. But essentially, there's one point where you guys come across this old cottage. And I just have it planned out that it's like, you knock at the door, the guy answers, tells you...
Which is a normal thing to do when someone knocks at the door.
Gives you, like, a warning thing, a warning about the area that you're going down, and that's really about it. George's character drop kicks the door in.
And he's like, yeah, everything makes sense. That is how he would do it.
And it got to the point where I had to say to Georgia, because Georgia will always say the funny thing that he wants to do immediately. He very much has that impulse. So it got to the point where, like, he would say his impulse, and I would have to be like, Georgia, do you really want to do that? And about half the time he would say, no.
No.
Half the time he's like, yeah, I'm doing that. And I'm like,
while he's saying no, he still wants to do it.
No, he's saying, oh no, him going no like that means I really want to, but I know that doing this will have consequences. Either the DM will give me consequences, or the other player characters will. Or both. But sometimes he don't care about the consequences. He just does it.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Dustin?
Robert, you mentioned about how, like, during the Fanning's thing, how there were 5 of us there, and any one of us could have mentioned, no, it's in the sky. It can't be in the sky. It's a crash thing. It's somewhat the idea of there are 5 of us there. Someone should have said something. Kind of relates to the other story I wanted to tell.
Okay.
Probably my favorite session that we've ever had. Not that I remember every single session, but it was probably my favorite one.
I know exactly where he's going with this.
Wait, I'm trying to think. Which campaign was this, Dustin?
Campaign 1.
Oh, I know exactly where he's going with this. I know exactly.
All 5 of us should have.
No, just let him say it. Just let him say it. Just let him say it.
I think I know exactly where you're going with this.
Just let Dustin say it.
So, basically, we had to raid a camp, and what was happening was people from Robert's character's village were being captured there. We were all going to go in there to save them.
Oh,
we were developing.
I thought it was going to be.
We were developing a plan on how to get in there. For context, George's character had a pet elk that was there.
Yeah,
and at one point, because you do it all over Discord, George left because I think he had to he was just getting dinner or something. And we were coming up with a plan, and we're thinking about what to do with the elk. And Matt, kind enough of the DM, was like, you guys don't have to plan around the elk. I think we've established the elk is smart enough that he could just stay behind. You don't need to think of anything like that. So the 4 of us there are like, okay, cool. Let's just leave the elk behind. He's just gonna make things more difficult, really, because it's a stealth plan.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we're doing some more planning. And I think we're talking about how we're going to break up the groups because we're going to attack in 2 different ends. And George comes back and he goes, okay, so me and the elk and the Dustin's character and Robert's character will come in this side, right? Any one of us. 4 of us there. Any one of us could have said, oh no, Georgia, we actually discussed Robogon, we're not going to bring the elk. For whatever reason, none of us say it.
Yeah.
So then a second time, Fanning's drawing a little map for us so we can better visualize how it is. Then Fanning goes, okay, so yeah, it's going to be Seth's character, the NPC over here, and then us 4 going over here, right? With the elk. Again, second opportunity. Any one of us
one of you
could have said, no, we really shouldn't bring the elk. Before the mission starts, Matt says, okay, just so I can clarify, it's going to be Fanning, Seth, NPC over here, George A., Robert, Dustin over here, and with the elk, right? None of us say, no, we're not bringing the elk. The elk isn't going to come. We all just go along with the elk that is now suddenly coming with us.
If I remember, isn't it then 10 minutes later or so?
Well,
we're all of a sudden.
Wait. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
Let Dustin get to it. Let's get to it.
So we're getting to the point where, Robert, George, I, and the elk, we're going to sneak in. Basically, we have a bag of holding, and I can walk through walls.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing we did, put the elk in the bag of holding. I walk through the wall because I can, and I take the elk out of the bag because we're gonna do like a back and forth thing. And Matt goes, okay, elk has to make a stealth roll. He rolls like a 2 or something. As soon as that happens, that starts. The elk just does this loud elk scream and alerts everyone at the camp that something is happening. The second that happens, every single one of these idiots start going, "Oh, I knew we shouldn't have brought the elk. I told you we shouldn't have brought the elk." Despite 3 opportunities proving, no, you didn't.
Everyone did immediately start casting blame on everyone else.
Wait, okay, so can I ask a question, then?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
I don't know if I'm making up a moment or if I'm confusing 2 different moments.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because I thought this ended differently.
How so?
I thought this ended with me all of a sudden being like, oh, we should have definitely kept the elk somewhere other than here. And then the elk, like, army crawled or something.
No.
You might be thinking of someone else.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of something else.
Maybe.
No, because how Dustin is describing this is exactly how it happened.
Like, oh, yeah, because isn't that when we did, like, an hour plan and then threw it all out the window because of that? Didn't it become like half the party was like helping to capture the rogue elk in the camp and using the elk as a distraction now?
It did get very hectic very quickly. That is how
that's why it's one of my that entire session was literally just us trying to get that plan.
I totally forgot about that session too. You know what I thought you were talk about, Dustin, was you were talking about how all of us were kind of being stupid.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about early on the campaign where we actually fell for the ruse, where we found 2 different NPCs, one of them a very evil guy named Noses, and then we found another person named Noses, and we, like, questioned it for all of, like, 10 seconds, and then we're like, nope, just a coincidence. Weird coincidence.
We did like interrogate him. He's like, no, I don't know what other Gnosis. And we're like,
yeah, no,
well, I guess that's how we can work with.
But then we just kind of like dropped the issue. I don't even know if we rolled insight. Like,
yeah,
I really don't know.
See, now, that reminds me of another thing.
Oh my god!
I don't know if maybe I should stop.
Yeah,
should we stop?
I think we need to stop, and I think what we need to do is really do this D&D
recap
dive soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing is telling all of the good stories, but like completely out of order with no context.
Yeah.
There's one huge D&D story from session 1, or from the first campaign, that I will deliberately wait until this deep dive to talk about.
Yeah, those are one of the very few moments where I'm somewhat annoyed with you guys. When you all started casting blame for not bringing the elk, I was like, okay, none of us said it.
Hey, all I'm gonna say,
like, these dudes.
All I'm gonna say is we're gonna end it here.
Okay.
And I've said this before.
Uh-huh.
There is a reason that Dustin is my favorite D&D player.
Because Dustin is the one who will open the door.
There is a lot of reasons why Dustin is my favorite. They say parents don't have a favorite. That is not true. If you have siblings, there is a favorite.
And I hate to be that guy, but if you have siblings and you don't think your parent has a favorite, you're not the favorite.
You are not the favorite. You can stop now.
So, Dustin, he immediately quit.